You sweat through high-tech gym routines every week. Yet fossilized bone density shows prehistoric women possessed shocking power. How could a regular ancient woman easily outperform today's gold medalists? Welcome to Bao's Sketchbook, where we decipher humanity's lost strength. Modern sports science relies on ultra-specialized training protocols. We isolate muscle groups using highly focused machinery daily. Yet our skeletal bones are remarkably frail and surprisingly porous. University researchers analyzed thousands of prehistoric skeletal remains. They scanned agricultural skeletons alongside Central European hunter-gatherers. The upper body bone strength of prehistoric women astonished everyone. Their arm bones exceeded elite modern female rowers by 30%. This power did not stem from deliberate lifting or gym culture. It came from relentless, functional labor repeated every single daylight hour. Grinding grain required up to 5 continuous hours of hard pushing. Every stroke loaded the radius and ulna with massive directional forces. Bones adapt dynamically under stress through a biological mechanism called Wolff's Law. When mechanical strain flexes bone tissue, microelectric charges trigger osteoblasts. These specialized cells deposit calcium, reinforcing the bone's structural frame. Ancient women began this brutal physical labor early during childhood development. Growing bones respond far more aggressively to intense daily physical stress. By early adulthood, their skeletons possessed structural armor modern humans lack. Consider the endless, exhausting task of processing thick animal hides. Scraping dense leather required hours of maximal shoulder and triceps torque. Without soft clothing, unprocessed hides meant total exposure to freezing winds. Every single garment demanded weeks of strenuous, full-body manual exertion. In addition, carrying heavy firewood across miles built immense core endurance. There were no ergonomic backpacks or paved trails to make transport easier. Every step across uneven terrain engaged, stabilized muscles throughout the hips. Modern gym training usually isolates movements along predictable single-axis planes. Pleistocene life demanded multiplanar functional movement under constant, unpredictable conditions. This constant variability created superior tendon stiffness and joint stability. Modern athletes often suffer tendon tears due to repetitive single-plane overload. Cavewomen possessed tough connective tissue conditioned for extreme natural impact. What about sheer cardiovascular capacity and sustained aerobic endurance? Foraging groups covered up to 12 miles daily across harsh terrain. They carried toddlers, foraging baskets, and defensive weapons every single mile. This produced extraordinary mitochondrial density within their skeletal muscle cells. Mitochondria act as miniature power plants, converting fatty acids into energy. More mitochondria allowed ancient humans to burn fat efficiently without gassing out. Modern sedentary lifestyles severely shrink our natural mitochondrial capacity over time. Even elite modern marathon runners train only a few dedicated hours daily. A prehistoric woman remained in continuous motion from sunrise until dusk. Her active baseline far exceeded today's recommended 10,000 steps target. What about sprint speed when fleeing sudden apex predator attacks? In 2006, Australian researchers analyzed 20,000-year-old fossilized footprints. The deep trackways revealed individuals running barefoot at astonishing velocity. Biomechanical calculations indicated speeds exceeding 37 kilometers per hour. They achieved this sprint acceleration barefoot on soft mud substrates. Modern sprinters require cushioned spiked shoes and specialized rubberized tracks. Ancient humans generated explosive power without high-tech gear or coaches. How did their feet store and return ground energy so efficiently? Lifetime barefoot movement develops robust arch musculature and thick plantar fascia. Modern supportive footwear weakens intrinsic foot muscles and narrows toes. A cavewoman's splayed toes provided unmatched ground traction during rapid turns. Her ankles acted like heavy-duty elastic springs, recycling kinetic impact energy. Now let us examine metabolic efficiency and thermal regulation capabilities. Humans are evolutionary endurance specialists designed to sweat profusely under heat. Our hairless skin allows rapid evaporative cooling, while furry mammals overheat. Prehistoric women possessed highly refined physiological adaptations to fluctuating temperatures. Higher ratios of brown adipose tissue help them generate internal thermal heat. Modern indoor climate control has largely turned off these ancient thermogenes. We shiver quickly because our body lost its raw thermogenic conditioning. An ancient cavewoman endured freezing nights without synthetic thermal blankets. Her metabolism adapted effortlessly to extreme temperature shifts and scarce food. What about grip strength and upper body pulling capabilities? Fossil hand bones exhibit enlarged muscle attachment sites called entheses. These physical markers prove they possessed crushing, vice-like hand grip power. Grip strength correlates directly with total body strength and long survival rates. Modern hand grip strength has dropped significantly over recent human generations. Typing on keyboards requires zero structural tendon load or hand effort. An ancient woman used her grip to butcher game and dig tubers daily. Digging through tough soil for tubers built immense forearm and lat power. Is it possible modern Olympic athletes possess superior peak performance in short bursts? Modern athletes train exclusively for hyperspecific single events in controlled settings. A sprinter does not need to chop wood or haul water post-race. Cavewomen could not specialize because survival demanded total, rounded athletic capability. They were cross-training masters tens of thousands of years before gyms existed. Their physical prowess was forged through real life-or-death operational necessity. Consider the psychological resilience required to survive prehistoric wilderness challenges. Modern athletes employ sports psychologists to manage severe performance pressure and anxiety. Ancient humans faced constant existential danger without any psychological safety nets. This produced extraordinary nervous system regulation and elite stress tolerance levels. Her adrenal glands fired only during true life-threatening emergency situations. Modern humans suffer chronic low-grade stress from phone notifications and deadlines. Constant cortisol elevation weakens modern muscle recovery and degrades skeletal density. Ancient women experienced clean, natural recovery cycles guided by circadian light. Deep, restorative sleep restored their physical tissues fully every single night. What did their daily nutrient intake look like compared to modern sports diets? They consumed dense micronutrients without ultra-processed sugars or artificial additives. Wild game provided high collagen levels, strengthening their tendons and ligaments. Modern processed food diets foster chronic inflammation that slows tissue recovery. An ancient woman's body operated at peak biological efficiency without systemic inflammation. Yet an unexpected evolutionary trade-off was silently taking place over millennia. When agriculture emerged 10,000 years ago, human physical activity drastically shifted. Repetitive agricultural labor replaced the dynamic movement of hunter-gatherer life. Human skeletons began losing bone density across successive farming generations rapidly. We traded raw athletic durability for stable calorie production and permanent settlements. This transition created the modern, fragile skeleton we inherit in contemporary life. Could a modern human rebuild that ancient biological superpower today? The secret lies in reintroducing natural functional movement into daily life. Walking barefoot on natural surfaces stimulates deep foot arch muscle engagement. Carrying asymmetrical heavy loads strengthens core muscles and stabilizes joint tendons. Our bones still possess the exact genetic capability to adapt under mechanical pressure. Wolff's Law remains active inside every single human living today. We simply lack the constant environmental stimulus that forged our ancient ancestors. Modern comfort has inadvertently trapped our true biological physical potential. So in a head-to-head matchup, who wins ultimate athletic superiority? In a modern Olympic rowing sprint, modern technique might yield initial speed. But in a brutal, multi-day wilderness survival test, the cavewoman dominates completely. Her bone density, tendon durability, and raw metabolic resilience remain unmatched. She was built by nature to endure non-stop real-world physical adversity. Modern athletes are refined specialists optimized for controlled, artificial athletic rules. Remove the polished equipment, and evolutionary adaptations quickly prove superior power. Our ancient ancestors were not primitive remnants of a weaker human past. They were peak physical specimens forged by millions of years of natural selection. Every piece of fossil evidence reminds us of our lost physical heritage. By understanding their daily habits, we can unlock better functional fitness. Incorporate natural movement, varied terrain walking, and functional lifting into workouts. Your body still carries that ancient blueprint waiting to be activated again. Step outside the gym and reconnect with your natural evolutionary strength. Ancient wisdom proves that true human power comes from natural movement versatility. We do not need machines to forge dense bones and resilient tendons. We simply need consistency, varied natural challenges, and continuous daily activity. The human body remains an extraordinary masterpiece of natural evolutionary engineering. Reclaiming your physical potential begins with taking your next natural step. Barefoot locomotion on uneven ground engages dozens of stabilizing foot muscles dormant in rigid shoes. Every step on stone and soil transmits sensory feedback straight to your brain's motor cortex. Ancient foragers walked over 5 to 10 miles daily across diverse terrains without heel strikes. Midfoot landing naturally absorbs kinetic impact before it reaches your knees and lower back. Modern cushioned footwear acts like a sensory blinder, dulling your nervous system's instinct. Deep resting squats were the universal chairs of human ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. Squatting fully decompresses the lumbar spine and maintains optimal hip mobility throughout aging. In modern societies, sitting in rigid 90-degree chairs shortens hip flexors and weakens gluteal muscles. Over time, weak glutes force lower back muscles to overwork, causing chronic pain and fatigue. Pleistocene humans maintained thick abdominal muscle walls simply by carrying wood, water, and game. Asymmetrical loads engage deep oblique muscles far better than isolated modern gym crunches. Hanging from overhead tree branches strengthened ancestral grip power and shoulder capsule integrity. Brachiation and hanging overhead naturally decompression stretch shoulder joints and improve posture. Diaphragmatic nasal breathing was the default state during long endurance trekking across open plains. Nasal breathing filters air, boosts nitric oxide, and keeps the nervous system in parasympathetic calm. Mouth breathing during chronic stress triggers fight-or-flight hormones and degrades facial jaw structure. Rewilding your physical health does not require abandoning modern life or moving into a cave. Simple daily habits like walking barefoot on grass and taking movement breaks unlock your biology. Consistently exposing your body to varied physical inputs stimulates continuous bone remodeling. Your genetic code expects physical work, natural movement challenges, and varied outdoor environments. Small, consistent changes in daily movement build resilience that lasts throughout your entire lifespan. By honoring your evolutionary heritage, you reclaim the athletic potential built over millions of years. Every movement choice you make today sends a chemical signal to rewrite your physical capability. Your body remains an adaptable biological miracle waiting for you to step into natural movement. If you loved exploring this evolutionary mystery, subscribe to Bao's Sketchbook for more journeys.